Okay. Right on the screensaver of the phone. So another thing is engaging in meditation exercises that focus on the present moment, but with a twist, like setting different alarms throughout your day to pause and meditate. Every 3 hours, we used to stop and meditate for 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. It's a way to basically get yourself in tune with the present and the linear time that you're consciously operating in. Another thing we used to do is the detox, the deception. He calls it the deceptional detox. But this is where you journal and write down a belief or assumption you had and critically assess its validity. This practice encourages you to question your own thoughts and identify which may be limited for your potential. For example, if you believe that you're not as good at public speaking, change this by speaking small, informal settings and note progress or revelations. That shit was very important to me because I didn't like speaking in front of a bunch of people, so I started with small groups. Okay. And now I speak in front of everybody. It's probably just going to get bigger because I'm changing this scenario in my reality. I'm manifesting my reality. Okay. You basically can create a journal where you document the same event from multiple viewpoints. Okay. This exercise will help you see the multiplicity of realities present in a single event and it can guide you to choose the one that aligns best with your desired outcomes. Another thing he has is the scenario of spinning with friends or family where you discuss how different choices could lead you to different futures. This social activities helps you see the multitude of possibilities your future hold. For instance, discuss how taking a sabbatical to travel could lead to new career opportunities or how volunteering could introduce you to a new circle of friends. See, so it's getting into the path of self, okay? Um Another thing he does, he acknowledges uh people basically embracing different viewpoints and asserting that is precisely the apprehension that traps us into continuous loops. So he talked about getting caught in the loop. He also motivates you to let go of limiting beliefs and push you towards these uncharted areas by working through your own inner emotions. He helps you recognize your inner shadow. The shaman also introduces the facing and understanding both our own internal darkness and the grim possibilities around that, and how to understand what we often regard as darkness should not be met with fear, but be seen as an assortment of energies awaiting our full assimilation. Engaging with your spiritual shadows through curiosity, courage, and love enables you to alter their impact, unveiling a deeper layer of personal development or empowerment. It also goes into how your shadow side is naturally aligned with the light. It goes into the functions of that, the falsest, the existence, what hasn't been embraced and accepted by you. Embracing darkness as an integral component of our growth rather than something to be feared, shunned, or hidden. Okay. So it goes into this. Some of the practical tips, I'll give you one out of three, was a resilience circle with friends and colleagues where you meet regularly, discuss personal challenges, and share the strategies for overcoming them. I was explaining to one of my students the other day, like I share personal stories with my students, not to have them in my business, because if I was worried about that, I wouldn't be telling them, right? But to teach them that I've been through all this different shit. You know what I'm saying? Some real fucked up, heinous shit at times. And how to overcome it, you know. Um, Sometimes I'll share with some of my students different things that I've overcome to show that they can be the catalyst for their own growth. You don't have to stay the same. Okay, so the resistant circle just brings about new perspectives and reinforcing the idea that you want to basically be the catalyst for your growth. Okay. Um, Another thing that you could do is get into exercises to transform the fundamental nature of one's inner shadow. So the shaman offers a range of spiritual practice aimed at helping you engage with and alter the energy within your inner shadow. The technique requires confronting one's own inner shadow. This method involves confronting aspects of your personality that you have remained unacknowledged, understanding the teachers as they offer, embracing it with empathy. He also provides comprehensive techniques for engaging with your shadow through introspective writing and dialogue, enabling the revelation of hidden wisdom that it holds for you. This is navigating, this is basically a way of navigating the discomfort that arises when your darker aspects come to light. It demands a blend of empathy and a deep understanding of basically your nature. Okay. Some tips into doing that is engage in reflective art by using creative expression. Create a persona card deck with different types of personality traits, both positive and negative, and draw a card each day to reflect on how traits manifest in your life. Start a shadow journal. Engage in role play exercises with your friends and family or your partner. Develop a habit of self affirmation. Start a discomfort dialogue. This is powerful. So, we used to do this. The discomfort dialogue is where you can discuss topics that are often avoided because they're uncomfortable. A lot of y'all be like, Cheeto, that was a very uncomfortable conversation. Honey, we need to have that. Okay. I'm not saying that I got it from the Shaman Durek. No, I got that from the crib. But when I read this, it was a way to, how can I say? It was a more professional and less emotional uh, process of energy, because when you're avoiding topics because they're uncomfortable, you're not able to set ground rules and have an open mind. You're not able to do that if you don't have that. Okay, so you want to basically focus on your fears and your insecurities and your societal issues that are typically taboo, and the goal is to normalize discussing uncomfortable subjects, which can lead to a greater empathy and understanding when darker aspects of human nature are involved. Like, a lot of women need this. Okay, it also goes into taking accountability, complete accountability for your existence. This requires recognizing the influence that your beliefs and expressions and deeds have in forming your existence. Okay? Recognizing how one thoughts, words, and actions create your reality. Believing that life is basically filled with challenges and it shapes your reality. The way you communicate and your actions is led to a life that is abundantly with hardships. By embracing a different perspective rooted in affection, abundance, and joy, you will attract life experiences that harmonize with these frequencies. So you can create a hardship scale. This is something else that was in there. Scale from 1 to 10 to rate the severity of each challenge that you encounter throughout the week. This helps you contextualize hardships and often reveals that many issues are less severe than initially perceived. Okay. Shifting from seeing oneself as a victim, this is important, to embracing a stance that promotes self-empowerment and taking responsibilities. The shaman also encourages to cease seeking themselves merely as victims and to acknowledge their inherent ability to control their own destiny. And the shaman also advocates for a shift in perspective during the difficult times, highlighting the value of extracting lessons from such circumstances, okay, to boost your own personal resilience. Okay. These are just some of the things in his book. You know what I'm saying? He has the self-empowerment playlist. I'm going to send y'all a link to where if y'all want the book, y'all could get the book. But it's something about spirit hacking that I really want y'all to get into, which is the ancestral wisdom, the meditation, where you focus on connecting with your lineage during these sections. It's like a guided imagery. that you go about. And this practice can help you get deeper into a sense of guidance and support from your ancestors. Okay. Like the shrine basically connects the bond to that ancestor. Next month we get into building altars. Let me just shout out next month's class. Shout out to Baba Ifalike. He gave me some really good information on teaching y'all how to make altars in a different kind of way, and to assist us with growing. So I wanted to get into some of this spirit hacking, how to interact with the living conscious entity that is nature. He also talks about this in the book. Silent walks, daily problem skills, mimicking nature, using photography as a mean to connect with nature's wisdom by taking pictures of the natural scenes or objects that resonates with you. If you was to go on my phone, I got trees, me playing in the water, a muddy puddle. Like, I started doing this. Like, I really was doing a lot of the things. And it really helps you become habitually ritualistic. Okay. And he goes in to tell you how to deepen your bond with the natural world and how to employ these methods on a deep connection and connecting with the worlds, the trees, the bodies of water, all of these different things. So yeah, other perspectives of the book is basically moving beyond the familiar boundaries of yourself that can lead to unnecessary risk or instability. Um, Cultural, historical, social factors, identity, some traditions and established practices, freedom and empowerment that comes from within. I mean, it's just so much information. So much information. This is just like a summary of some of the things I took away from it. Like I said, I didn't even read the whole book. But it's going to teach you how to create a transformative challenge where you commit to changing one small habit every day. You know what I'm saying? This key is to reflect on how these small changes impact your life and your mindset. Engaging in conversations with people who have successfully navigated significant changes. Ask them about their strategies, their fears, how they overcame them. This can provide you with real life examples and things that you could take action on. Any questions while I got y'all in here? What y'all feel about that information um that I've been reading to y'all? What y'all get from that? Any questions?
I think I'm just realizing how not to look at the darkness as something without judgment, like it's not bad, like just get into that part of receiving that there's light and there's darkness. How do you get to your shadow part when when the shadow is in the dark?
Basically, how you get into it is like working through the different emotions. So, like, let's say, for example, if you don't know that you're easily triggered by things, right? You don't know what trigger you, what make you nut up, right? You want to write down all the things, for example, that you do know that'll make you go there. We just gonna pick one and be silly, like talk about your mama. You know what I'm saying? Black kids, we don't play about our mamas. You say something about the mama and grandmama, them is fighting words, right? So say if that was your trigger, right? We just gonna be hypothetically. You would work through and go through that emotions and seeing how many other realities that you could have chose instead of faulting that person. It's making you micromanage your own self. Does this make sense? Especially in that way. You could have been like, oh, this person say this to me. I don't have to fly off the handle and beat them up. I could ignore them. I could crack a joke back. I could take the high road and just laugh and keep going. Like, you right. It's so many infinite possibilities and realities that operate. You see what I'm saying? So it teaches you basically that you don't have to and that was another reason why I liked it, because I used to be a very violent person. I don't have to be violent. I don't have to respond in doing spiritual shit to people. I don't. It goes into all that. It's like into taking your power back. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes, like that way. Or say you might know that you don't like when a person does certain things. And instead of you just keep watching them do it, you could pull them to the side when they first do it, like, you know what? I fuck with you, I respect you, or I look at you in this way. I don't like when I see you like that. I don't like what I'm seeing on you. You ain't gotta be like, this bitch get on my nerves. We don't gotta do that. You know what I'm saying? Or you don't gotta ignore that person and get an attitude. You could just pull them to the side. That's the hard conversation shit. That's the shadow work. Pulling yourself and others that you surround yourself with to the side. Does that make sense? And basically just, making yourself have accountability. That shit is so freeing. It's so freeing. You want to create this personal energy map of your living space and your life to enhance your connections with the environment. So, for example, you could draw a simple layout of your home and mark the areas where you feel most and least energetic. This can help you rearrange your space to spend more time in these areas that boost your energy and find ways to infuse vitality into the spaces that normally drain it. See how I took that darkness and made it light? It's basically understanding how to take the darkness. That's what I got from it. That was like my main thing. I couldn't see at that time, I couldn't see nothing else. Like I said, I didn't read the whole book, but I got this summary. Shout out to short form. I got this summary to be able to go over it, but I thought it was a beautiful book. And I think a lot of people, again, should be reading that book because he has very beautiful concepts. And, like next month, we learn to build altars. Not everybody is ready for a fucking altar at their house. You know, altars alter you. If I tell you, powerful hive, I'm going to alter your brawl. I'm altering your bra and I'm making it smaller. That means I'm changing it. So when you alter and you put altars up, you're allowing the spirits to change you. Whatever you put on that altar, if when you get it set up right, when I show y'all this trick, woo, man. Let's just say that. Any questions before I go into like altars? I just wanted to share that. Shout out to the Shaman. Go ahead. So polarity like up and down, left, right, hot, cold. Dual is like it's like having it's the same thing but having like the divisions of two opposites. Does that make sense? So the novel of deep duality about the human motive could be duality. Does this make sense? Polarity is the extreme polar opposites. And duality just goes in. Let me give you a deeper. So think about duality basically goes into this harmony, this connectedness, unity, balance, this coexisting. And polarity draws attention to contrast. See what I mean? Like distincts between the polar opposites. I try to do my best to explain it. So the big difference, it's not like a major difference, but the duality just emphasizes the harmony. Okay. So like in religion, dualism for ancient Egyptian religion is Osiris and Isis. See what I'm saying? Dualism. Um, Polarity is a hermetic principle. Everything has two sides or two extremes. Okay. They're really different versions of the same thing, like hot and cold water. They both come out the thing. It's both water. See what I mean? But one could be hot. Like water that could be hot to me may not be hot to you. See? See how that polarity is? But dualism is like, I know if I stick my hand under this water, this motherfucker gonna get wet. See? Think of it like that. It could either get wet, I could get burned, whatever. You feel me? Like, um, I always tell people polarity and duality is not my reality. Like, I look at things more than just yes, no, up, down. I had a situation where I was at the gym this morning. I'm gonna share this with y'all. Off topic, but completely fucking on topic. And I think the spirit allowed me to see it through another person because I catch myself doing it. And I know what it come from me, but I ain't never had nobody really do it to me. So it was this lady, and about a week or two ago, I met her because me and my daughter was at the gym, and on the way in, a lady let the door hit my daughter. She let the door hit her instead of holding it open. Now, I could have overreacted, acted a goddamn fool. I'd have been kicked out the gym. I could have overreacted. Bitch, you let that motherfucking door hit my daughter, bitch. Pushed her ass all in. I could have went left. Right? I could have came out of my fucking harmony. I didn't. I was like, you didn't see her coming through that door? You let that door hit her? She's like, oh, ma'am, I am so sorry. I didn't even pay. I said, you saw us because you seen me come. And she was behind me. And you was rushing to get through the door. You let that door hit my daughter. That's rude. Let it go. So my daughter was like, Mom, I thought you was by. I said, no, I wasn't about to do shit to her. She was being rude sometimes. She was a white lady. Sometimes white people just ignorant, baby. You can't pay attention to the shit that they be doing. Flat out. So the lady in there interrupted me like, yeah, I was raised, blah, blah, blah. Went through the whole spiel, how she was mixed and how she dealt with racism from her white family. That's how I met her. And then I'll see her every now in the gym. Like, I'm not friends with her. We just cordial. I see people, I'm a type of person I could be alone and never be alone. I could go in alone and somebody's gonna find company. I'm gonna find company. And we was in a sauna and we was talking, and I was talking to another lady, but I watched her begin to talk with us, and she wanted to talk about what she was doing, everything. I'm just listening to her. And then when I began to talk to the other lady, she wanted to cut me off. She kept cutting me off, kept cutting me off. No matter what I said or what I did, she kept cutting me off. So I was gonna respond like in a negative way, but the spirit was like, you do the same shit to people. Sometimes you cut people off. And I'll be like, yeah, but when I'm doing it, in my mind, I got something to say. Not like what they're saying is not valid, but it'd be like my thought will be triggered. Like I could be talking to you and you'd be like, oh yeah, I went swimming. I'd be like, girl, do you know bathing suits is on sale $9? Not that I don't give a fuck what you saying. Something triggered my thought. That's like some ADHD shit. Or I'm like, nah, I fuck with you. I fuck with you, Capri to be. I'm not about to let you go out like that. Oh yeah, and that's not what that is. I'ma stop you. Or certain people, like when I talk to Powerful Hive, certain shit she said, I'm like, girl, I ain't trying to cut you off. You're fucking triggering me to remember or do. And I can announce that. That person didn't do that. And I asked the spirit, what is that for real? And it's like people want to be heard. They either, if it's not cognitive like ADHD, they want to be heard. They have to have this connectivity. They don't mean nothing by it. They just feel what they have to say is more important than what's going on, or they can't control it. Like I said, it's unconscious. You see what I'm saying? And it's not even like I don't even know if that person is aware that they do that, but I was aware of it because I watched it. And that's why I always tell y'all in the group, the ones I teach regularly, I tell y'all all the time, be careful how you sit and what you say around a person when you meet them. Because if a person sit and listen to you and they're watching you, they'll know everything about you before the conversation's over, especially if you drop your guard. And the reason why I don't, like, I might talk a lot to my students, but the reason why I don't talk a lot about certain things to different people is because when you become loquacious, which means talkative, you start to leak energy. I don't know if y'all knew that. You begin to leak energy, you know. You want to be in control of your spirit. You don't want somebody diving in your energy because you loquacious, you talking over people and shit. And then you don't do that to people that you don't know because some people will take that offensive. I know some people that get mad as fuck if I'm and I come from a family like we could all just sit here and be talking and my aunt would be like blah 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 and everybody start laughing, but we was talking about one thing. And some people see that as conversational disrespect. I used to date a guy, he'd be like, you don't never let me talk. I'm like, shit, I'm just coinciding with you. Or like the lady that I rent from, she's a fucking racist, flat out. I hope she listens. She's a fucking racist. So I'm in the office trying to negotiate something about my bill, like something that was put on my bill, like where the fuck did this come from? And I got my recourse, and every time she say something, I'm like, yeah, I already explained that to you. I got this information from your system. And she's like, please don't cut me off. I said, I'm not cutting you off. I'm already affirming to you that this information I already have. A lot of white people don't like that shit. You can't be conversational. You can't have an open dialogue with a lot of people. They deem it as being offensive. Does that make sense? Uh, it'll be deemed as being offensive to them. But this comes from cultural, historical, social factors within that person. It could be from ADHD. It could be from a person not being able to be heard. This is the only place that people hear. It could be a person is intimidated of your energy and they want to feel like they got to overtalk you to have dominance. But it really, when we was in there, we was in like a little area, like the sauna area. We was in there and made the one lady leave. She ain't even want to it irritated her. I could tell that she was talking over. She kept talking over me when I was trying to explain to her something, and it made the lady get up and leave. And that's why I tell y'all all the time, you could be sitting around people and you don't know that your energy or the attitude and shit that you give off, you don't know how that affects other people. You don't know how sensitive they are. So when I do it, I always be like, not trying to cut you off. That's why y'all hear me say that, like, not trying to cut you off. I'm having an ADHD moment, nigga. Here this is. Not like in a way to be overbearing. So when you engaging in conversations with people who have successfully navigated emotional intelligence, you know what I'm saying, and they know how to navigate these strategies, they've overcome fears, they in their action process of their life and they're going through transforming, and it's not a challenge for them, it's become a hobby. Then the game changes. Then you're able to see, damn, I did used to do this, and this is why I'm doing it. And I'm not making excuses of why I do it. I'm gonna tell you why I'm doing it. Like, nigga, you trigger me. Hold up, I ain't trying to cut you off, but boom, and then I let it go. Some people forget what they gonna go through in their mind and what they gonna speak of. You know what I'm saying? So, and then some people is doing it because they want to control. It's from dominance. It's about who is it coming to. And sometimes when people they're not connected into their own power and they feel powerless, they will do things like that. I don't know if y'all know that. But that is a good way to work out these emotions. You're able to write them down. Okay, why do I do this? What makes me do this? What is more important about me than it is with everybody else? You see what I'm saying? What is that? Um, but yeah. Anybody got any other questions about this? I'm excited for y'all to watch the video of it too.
Well, I'm just thinking, like you said, you handle the person who may be offended by it, or like you said, you didn't mean it that way. It's just like, in other words, you ended up handling it. She just ended up leaving. I mean, the other lady left.
Yeah, she just got up and left. Yep.
So,
She can you imagine what that would look like? She just she just kept fucking talking. She just was loquacious. She wasn't when you do that, sometimes you could be ungrounded. You could not be in a state of self-awareness. Does that make sense? A lot of people say that again. How you this yeah, the setting. Yeah. So you see how like you was just like how you handle emotion. I said, yeah, the settings. I can't talk like that to my landlord. She think I'm attacking her. Girl, I'm just affirming what you just said. How am I? I'm not talking over you. Because you said, are they just connected? And I'm like, yeah, it depends on the scenario. That to my landlord, she think I'm trying to overtalk her. But she's a racist, though. A lot of white people don't like you to have a dialogue with them. They want to tell you what the fuck you supposed to do, especially when they in that authority state. And they'll say things like this. Again, we've already completely talked about this. We're going to move forward. Ain't that how they do? They're being sarcastic as fuck. That is a professional way of telling you, fuck what you said. We moving forward. We about to do this because this is what I said. And that is, you can tell by conversational how a person is overserting dominance. And then you can tell when it's ADHD. Like I said, you could be telling me something about, yeah, how you ate green foods. And I'd be like, girl, did you know Mind Body Green Functional Nutrition and Training is on sale this month? Was I trying to be overbearing to you? No. Does that make sense? I'm having a fucking ADH moment. That's you feel me? That's a misfire. You feel me? Like a bitch misfired. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh yeah, girl, I don't eat green vegetables. I only eat passion fruit. See, now I'm fucking dominance. See that? Or no, that's not what it is. It's this dominance. Or but I could tell that person was doing it from not being aware of themselves. And then like that conversation, like sometimes when people do it out of dominance, they'll lose train of thought in the middle of the conversation too. Then they'll start talking about some other shit about their life and try to group it as it is that you're not trying to dominate people, and they look ridiculous. And the lady got up and walked out, and I didn't do. I laughed and went to the other room. I didn't. I didn't get angry. I just was like, damn. I got to see what it is when somebody is doing it in this way. But I'm a person, it don't bother me when a person is like talkative. Or even if they talk too much. They might need somebody to talk to. They might have a lot of things to say. But some people will be like, I'm sick of hearing this bitch. I don't want to hear her fucking talk. I'm sick of her. You feel me? But we gotta be mindful of how that's why that shadow work shit is so important. That's why self-empowerment, to know that you have power, to know that you're worthy, to know that someone sees you. You don't gotta be extra as fuck to be seen. Like, you just embrace the self-empowerment and take responsibility of yourself. That shit alone changed the game. That spirit hacking teaches you that book. Taking full responsibility and recognizing my shadows. Like, I could have been like, girl, don't cut me off, but I ain't do that because I'm like, I do that shit. Let me watch this shit. I stepped out of me. And sometimes when you checking your shadow, you gotta watch you. How is you moving? I'm the first motherfucker to do a self check. And people will think I'll be being funny. Like, I'm gonna give y'all a situation. I had a student that I stopped working with probably last year, just because it was no longer mutual. Um, I had just stopped. I'm not angry at them or nothing, you know what I'm saying? But I just was like, I could not deal with this person's energy. They were being like a provocator, like provoking me at all times, right? So I had to stop. And then recently, when I saw this person, I didn't see them physically. I saw them on my social media. I spoke to them. They never said anything back. They never responded. I left them a message. How you doing? You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Nothing. But they'll watch you. They can't take, sometimes people do shit to you and they can't take accountability. I got this going on right now. I don't know nobody else. I think it's the retrogrades. I got this going on where motherfuckers is spinning the block and they trying to access the bridge like they did not just burn this motherfucker down to the ground not even a year or 2 years ago. Does this make sense? Like, you know, you just set fire to the motherfucking Jersey Bridge. You can't go into New York no more. You know you just burnt that bridge down, right? How the fuck we supposed to get that car across the bridge? Think of it like that. And this creates this, the shit is like unpredictable energy with these people when that happens. Because they want to engage in your life and they want to discuss different choices and the things that you did and what your future is and how you been. Even though they ain't been around, you burnt this bridge. You don't have access to discuss this. You are on an emotional, spiritual exodus from me. You chose that. Don't try to flip it like it's me. This is why you gotta be aware of your shadow. A motherfucker gaslight your boundaries. Y'all fucking with me or y'all on mute writing shit down. Either way. Nigga, they will gaslight your boundaries, powerful hive. You would be like, oh, I stopped talking to her because this bitch knows she was putting negative energy on me. She knows she was copying me and pretending like we in competition. She knows she was doing that shit. I had to step away from her, but she'll play you. And some people is so manipulative, they will create, when they're not aware and responsible for this fucking emotions, they start doing these things where they'll blame you for you not fucking with them, even though they knew they was the reason why you stopped fucking with them. Y'all ever had that happen? You can't. Yeah, they'll create the situation and play victim like you did it. No, bitch, do you remember what the fuck you was doing a couple weeks ago? You know what I'm saying? Like, they not in control of their own spirit. Spirit hacking is basically taking back this energy. You're taking all this shit back. You know what I'm saying? You taking this energy back. You're understanding that all these different realities. I always tell y'all, multiple realities exist at the same time. That's why choices are so important. The moment you choose, the moment you say, you know what, nope, this ain't it, or I see what this is. Like, I had a situation where I was doing a show, right? And I'm like excited about it. A lot of people calling me about it. They just want to come visit, get Reiki, go on their way. I'm like, shit, I don't know how I'm gonna accommodate all these people. I really want it to be like this, but that ain't how it's going. I'm gonna have to reschedule the date later time so everybody can be able to go and do it like this. That's how I'm gonna do it, right? I didn't get angry about the reality that it didn't work. I said, no, I'm gonna do it. I chose how I wanted to do it. Feel me? When I seen that, I started seeing certain things begin to happen. I'm like, yo, this shit is not a fucking coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence at all. This is not a coincidence that this is happening. I gotta go another way about this. Or I'm not. I think I was on the phone with Excalibur. I'm like, I think I'm being disobedient because the spirit told me, sit your ass in Ohio and these people come to you. I'm where all the pyramid power is. I'm in Ohio with all the motherfucking pyramids. Make them come to you. I keep forgetting that. And people keep trying to get me out of that, or I'll let myself get out of it because it sounds good as a motherfucker and I want to do it. I want to expand this, but maybe my ass is sitting down with these spirits for a reason until I get what I need to be able to go through it. I'm not going to look at it as like somebody blocking me. What the fuck? Does this make sense? That's like cutting off the possibility of your fucking manifestation, just locking your shit down to one or two things. No. Mm-mm. This is where all this, you have to foster this mental holistic approach to achieving your envisioned lifestyle universe. This is all in the book Spirit Hacking. I swear to God, I want y'all to get that book. I sent y'all the video. Watch it. And I'm going to send you information that I read from here. Shout out to shortform.com. But yeah. I wanted to make sure I kind of got y'all into that because it's going to change the way you look at things and the way that you interpret things. You'll be able to see it for yourself in a private setting. You know what I'm saying? You'll be able, not in class. The spirit hacker, we're gonna talk about it in class. But you'll be able to see it for yourself. You know. We may even do an exercise out of his book. You never know. So you can see. But I did want to share that information. I don't know if y'all haven't read the book. I read the book years ago. Some of it I didn't read it all the way through. I read majority of it, but I didn't finish it. It was very enlightening at that time. And it was connectivity without maximum exposure. It was in a safety. You know how like you learn in spiritual and you want to be safe. I just made a podcast about that, safety in the spiritual ATR community. Oh my God. Go listen to it if y'all haven't listened. Oh my God. And I just gave them places where I know that they could be safe. Because sometimes that's all you can do. You know, we have to get into the harmony of knowing ourselves and knowing who we are. And that's just what that is. I really appreciate y'all for tuning in. This is just a snippet of a class. I got to get back to teaching. I love y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this audio. DM me at Alchemy Works. I want to give a shout out to Shaman Durek. It was a wonderful book that you wrote, and I want to thank you for Bliss in the World. Shout out to shortform.com for the summary and allowing people to share it. Go check that book out.